I was diagnosed 12 years ago with hypothyroidism and insulin resistance. Both of those illnesses made me gain weight like 30 kilos. And as many of you know, hypothyroidism is declared not to be reversible. You have to take that pill forever. So I was overdosed, then again dosed. It came up and up and up all the time for these 12 years. But when the pandemic came in, I was looking at Instagram and I follow Gaia, and there I looked at Dr. Joe Dispenza, Rewire Your Brain. Well, actually, it was curious for me because I'm not into this trying to go into Gaia. It was like surprising because I'm into finances, I'm a mathematician, I'm an architect, so I'm so rational that it was strange for me, you know, the image. So I went into Rewired, and it made so much sense for me that science was there, very well explained. So I did the Gaia Rewired course, and immediately I downloaded the Becoming Supernatural. So I started to meditate. I started to trying to understand how to do it, and with the morning meditations I started. It was about April, and in probably a month and a half, as we were in the pandemic, many people had these things that measure your oxygen and your heart rate. So I started looking that my heart rate was very, very high. So I went to the doctor. He said, your heart's okay, but if you are taking some medicine for thyroid, you should go to see your endocrinologist. So I went to her, she did some blood tests, and she told me 2 months after I started meditating, the morning meditations, what have you done? Because the levels dropped so much that I have to give you half the dose that you are taking. That's why your heart is like that, because you're so overdosed. And I said, well, I've been doing fasting. No, fasting has nothing to do with it. This is, you know that this is not reversible. So, okay, go ahead with a half of the dose, and please keep in touch, because if your energy drops, I have to pull it up immediately. Okay, so I dropped it for a half. My energy was perfect, and I started making the Blessing of the Energy Center meditation every day, 5 a.m. in the morning. I didn't miss one, and I really concentrated on the thyroid. And 2 months later, again, my heart beating as fast as the first time. So I talked to her, I said, what happened? And she said, okay, blood tests again. So she was that amazed that she told me, this is wrong, go to another lab. So I did the same day 2 tests, or between 1 and 2 days. And she realized that they were okay. So the numbers were so impressive to her that she told me, let's not talk in my office. Will you, invite me for a tea at your house, because I really want to talk to you. So she came to my house and she told me, what are you doing? You know, I'm a professional. She's a very professional doctor in Mexico. She's very recognized endocrinologist. She studied in London, so I've been studying for years, and this cannot happen. So I want to ask you, what are you doing? And I told her, well, this work with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it makes all the sense for me because I am so rational that this makes sense for me, and I went into it as it is. And here you have the results. So she told me that she was into yoga and she meditated for a while with the Buddha things. So she was into it, no? But she's a scientist as well. So she told me, okay, for me it makes sense, but I am afraid that if I take out the pill as this says, I may harm you, because all the study, all the science tells that this cannot be done. So I have to have your authorization for maybe making a Zoom with my colleagues in London and in other places to show the blood tests and to tell me what to do, because really I am in shock. And I said, go ahead. So she did that call, and she called me later and she said, okay, I was right. There is no evidence, there is no single book that says that hypothyroidism can disappear. And it has disappeared. So the conclusion of all my colleagues is, okay, for us as scientists, you have to still take minimum dose, so because this cannot disappear, but it's your choice. So she told me more closely, for my peace of mind, take this little pill one day, yes, 2 days no, and please keep in touch with me with your energy. And I had more energy than ever, and I took off the pill, and she makes me blood tests every 3 months, and I am absolutely okay. The insulin is perfect right now, and I am not doing any medication right now, and in the process lost 30 kilos. This is my new me. Since I started meditating, it took like about not more than 6 months, probably 5 months, for this to disappear completely. I am so happy to share this, because it would be amazing that people do this work to really tell all these books that things can be done. I think Dr. Joe, with all the research that he has come into it, for me it was the key. The key that he is a scientist, but as he says, science is the new language of mysticism. I love that phrase. I really loved it, because he was showing evidence for me in brain scans, in what he has done in that makes sense for people like me. They are facts. And if you do the work, and I am a very disciplined person, so if I'm into it, because it catched me, it was easier, probably. I always say you have to be very disciplined for whatever, and this is the result. I really haven't missed meditation probably in almost 2 years. Probably missed 8 meditations. I lost my mother in the way, so in last December I lost her. So probably some of my meditations there were lost when I was in the hospital or something. I tried and I couldn't, But the thing that captured me is the way he expresses himself, the way he has put the attention on the research and show the research and explain the research. For me, that captured me. And that made me the will to do it. It's not a belief, it's a fact for me, And now I can assure it is a fact. The research that he has done, it obviously works. And it works for an illness that there is no book that says that you can take the pill away. So what else is possible now?